Hello everybody and welcome back to another FTB Infinity Expert Mode on Skyblock. I apologize, but we have to get over here ASAP. I'm not sure what changed. We were having really long debates and conversations about passive mobs because I was still having quite a bit of an issue securing them. And, well, sure enough, not too much longer after complaining a little bit, here we go. We have passive mob spawning. For whatever reason, I don't know how or why, but it's working now. And again, it wasn't working just like not too long ago. So what I need to do is this sheep, excuse me, yes, you sir, come with me. Come with me. I only have the one, though, which is a bit of a setback. Only the one sheep isn't going to do too much for us, but at least we can shear that one sheep, right? Alright, let's expand this guy a little bit. Good. Give those piggies a little bit more room. Very nice. Alright. Not too shabby. So we have a sheep, some pigs, we got some chickens, we got some horses, of all things, and we got a whole bunch of cows as well, which is some of the most important ones in the whole shebang. So really happy to have the cows going. Pigs, not so much. They don't, they're food. That's about it. And horses, I don't know. You're on a skyblock. You don't really have to travel very far. But yeah, so we do have the passive mobs, which is great. And what you guys can see over here as well, and we might as well discuss it, is I've built another stairwell. And I've decided that I'm going to build these stairwells to go up into different sections throughout the entire base. So this guy here is going to be designed for our Botania setup. And this is how I got cows and stuff. I was literally just standing right over here, and boom, they spawned over there. For whatever reason. I didn't change anything. I don't know. But we've been getting a few mystical flowers, and the way that you do that is some floral fertilizer. Alright? Probably the easiest one is the rose red to the dandelion yellow. You can simply bone meal and get flowers, or if you've gone the watering can route like we have poppy and dandelion right there, so pretty easy to farm up those items. And combine it with some bone meal, which of course we're getting a whole bunch from sieving over there. And you just kind of spam it just like you would bone meal, and away you go. You're good to go. So I've been getting a decent amount of flowers, and I wouldn't mind getting this kind of started and set up. Any more passive mobs over there? I don't know. Let's go find out. There's one other thing up here that I've been working on, and most of this is going to be done on stream. But I do want to show you guys and bring you in the loop on this one. I've been starting bees. Yes, indeed. Bees. And you know what? I figure, why not? Let's get some bees going. I've been continually breeding them quite a bit, but I want to show you guys start to finish on how to exactly get bees on this mod pack. Alright, also over here I've set up just a quick little dirt farm. Put stuff in the chest, dirt comes out the other end through the hoppers. Pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy there. Okay, so bees. Bees are an interesting thing. You need to get a squeezer. This is one of the first items that you're going to need to get. And we need seeds to squeeze it. I highly, highly recommend pumpkins or melons for this. And the reason being is pumpkins and melons, of course, when you harvest them, let's just do a demonstration for you guys. You harvest the pumpkins. I've already gotten these up to 1010 so that we get lots of pumpkins. But even if you're only getting one pumpkin, it's still pretty darn good. Then you can put them in here and you get 4 seeds per pumpkin, which is pretty darn impressive. Why am I capped at 60 FPS? My recording software is derping a little bit again, but 60 is at least not too bad. So anyways, and then you throw the seeds in the squeezer, and it's going to give you seed oil. Now, seed oil is very important. We can use seed oil to make hives. All right, so I'm going to get the seed oil done, and I will show you how to do this. Alright, so we do have enough seed oil in here. Basically, all you do is you fill a bucket with seed oil just by putting it in there. And you combine yourself hay with a silk mesh. And this is going to give you an artificial hive. Pretty straightforward so far, right? Nothing too crazy. Let's find our scoop. I made a scoop somewhere here. There it is right there from forestry. Pretty straightforward, just a little bit of wool and some sticks. And all you do is you need an oak barrel, just like this one right here. And you right click it, and now that barrel is filled with seed oil. You place in the artificial hive, and now it is a scented artificial hive. Alright, now you can see when you hit U, for example, to find out how to use the item, there's many different ways that you can get different hives through the induction smelter. So, forest, tropical, ender, marshy, and meadows, which requires grass blocks. Pretty straightforward, right? Nothing too crazy at all. So, let's get ourselves a forest. Alright, it should be pretty straightforward. Actually, I don't think I have any shears at the moment. Let's quickly get some shears. And we'll just do some quick iron ones for now. And get 8 leaves. Should be really easy to get some forest ones set up. You should have a good tree farm already. And once you have your induction smelter here, boom, boom, this will give you your first hive, or in this case, my third or fourth at this point in time. So this will give us a hive, and all you do is, just like the hives you found normally in the world, you basically slap it down. You could use these for lighting as well if you wanted to, just saying. And boom, you hit it with the scoop, and with that scoop it'll give you some bees. Alright, now once you get that up and running, I highly recommend getting, depending on your biome that you spawn in, okay? Depending on your biome, make sure you get a good bee for your biome. I'm pretty much all forest, so forest and meadows are really good for the bees, alright? Now, once you get a few going, and you get some honey drops, you can make yourself a beealyzer. And this guy's just done in a carpenter. You need 2 buckets of water, a little bit of tin, some glass panes, a diamond, and 2 redstone. Pretty straightforward overall, but you can put some honey drops in there, and then what you can do is you can use that honey drop to analyze the bee. Alright? What this will tell you is, it's got a shorter lifespan, production slow, fertility of 3, all that kind of stuff. And each one of these tabs gives you more information about that bee. So for example, look at all the possible mutations for that bee. Alright? And then you can do the same thing for the drone. Now, the basic ones here should all be pretty much the same. The time when this beealyzer gets important is when you start mutating things together. Alright? Now, you need to get a house or an apiary for these bees. So one of the things that you can do is you can just make a bee house. If you are lucky enough to get a comb from using the scoop on the hive, you can easily make a bee house. Pretty straightforward. It's a little bit slower than the other option, which is the apiary. The apiary from forestry, basically the same recipe, but the difference is it requires an impregnated casing. And an impregnated casing is some more of that seed oil with 8 logs. So it's not really expensive, but you will need a carpenter to make one. Alright, so there we go, an impregnated casing. Very nice. And let's just get a little bit of more wood here, and we can make ourselves an apiary. Pretty straightforward. Nice. And of course, this is where your bees live. This is where your bees, harvest together and all that kind of stuff, and all that jazz. Okay, lots of animals. This is great. So, for example, this guy we have ready to go. It'll start to breed these 2 bees together, and boom, we have a queen instead of a princess. All right, it was a princess before, and now we have a queen. Alright, ignoble stalks and pristine stalks, I don't really know those. I am not the greatest at bees. But one of the things that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make a whole bunch. And get a whole bunch of drones going and just a nice basis of things going. Alright, now bees don't work in the moonlight. Or at least these bees don't. Some of them are nocturnal, but these ones are not. So, without further ado, I think that's where we're going to end the bees. I'm going to just continually working on this, and again, I'll be doing a lot of this on the stream as well, you know, where you're just coming over, hitting it a couple times, you know, switching over some bees, trying to get some mutations going, all that stuff, right? So, I really need another sheep, but you know what, one's better than none, because at least I can shear it. Alright. Things are going well. I'm going to get the stuff ready for the Botania adventure that we're about to partake on, and we will do that. Alright, so I think I've gotten everything prepared for our Petal Apothecary. It is going to require a bit of double compressed cobblestone, a cauldron, which requires iron plates, not too shabby. It's going to require a petal and some cobblestone slabs. Now, we're going to need a few of these crafting tables out by our Botania setup. So let's quickly make just a couple. You know, 4 should be a pretty nice, healthy amount. I'm going to go with the little slab version because we can. Why not? They're smaller, a little bit less encumbersome. And we can kind of just even hide them, you know, right here, for example, and throw them in the ground. Maybe we go around the horn and add a few around. But for right now, I'm just going to add a few right here. Just like so. And one right there. Good. Alright. And that's perfect. So, let's quickly grab a flower petal. Which one do I have a lot of? Ooh, I got a lot of blue. Okay, let's use up some blue then. We will go in here and let's make our Petal Apothecary. Let's get this thing going. We need our cauldron. It's our first ever cauldron that we've made. And there we go, a Petal Apothecary. Alright. You know what, for right now, I'm not sure exactly where the center point is going to be of this Botania area, so I'm going to leave it for now. By the way, I can't find Cornelia anywhere. She may have jumped off the edge. But we do have a new Coven Witch over there, and apparently a new horse. Good times. Me standing over here seems to get those guys spawning for whatever reason. But I'm not going to complain about it because I have animals and other people are still having difficulties with it. I guess the other thing that we're really going to need over here is a infinite water source of some sort. Let's see about making one of those. I'm thinking we will go with the sink from Pam's Harvest Craft. So basically we can do some copper, we can do tin, you can do bronze, you can do steel, and you can do iron. So let's get a little bit of... let's go with, I guess, copper for now. So we'll need 3 of you. Yeah, I can't find Cornelia anywhere. She may have gotten mad at me and jumped off the edge. It's possible. It is possible. Alright, so sink, good. We'll do the copper one. Excellent. Alright, so this guy from Pam's Harvest Craft is a fantastic block. It's basically a single block infinite water source, and I used it in my other world as well. Of course, you do still have to manually pull from it. Alright, so for example, we can go here, good, and we can pull water from it, just like that. It's actually a great way to get infinite water quite early on in your world. Alright, so we have our Petal Apothecary. Let's look up our Lexica Botania, which is the book of all books, and it's pretty easy to make. Now, let's go find what we need. And the first thing we need, I think, is going to be... do we want to do the Pure Daisy first? Or do we want to get... Yeah, we need to do the Pure Daisy first. Yeah. Okay, Pure Daisy. Let's see, what do we need? What do we need? We need 4 white petals in a Petal Apothecary. Alright. Now, that's not the full recipe. And I'll explain to you why in just a minute. Let's get 8 of these going. Let me just confirm that I can actually do that. Because we are going to need probably some day blooms. Yeah, they don't require white petals, so we're good there. Now, the other thing that you're going to need is seeds. And the reason you need seeds is it's kind of like the binding agent that makes these things come together. All right, so we just convert those into the white petals, just like so. We'll get our water on there, and we don't need our wrench. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, basically, you need the seed. You throw it in, you're good to go. Now, one of the cool things is... Oh, it won't let me do it? Or will it? Yeah, okay. So, once you fill it back up with water, all you have to do is right-click on it. See, right-click with an empty hand puts back the last recipe so that you can make another one of these quite easily. So fill it up, right-click, and drop the seeds. And there you go. We've gotten 4 pure daisies pretty darn quickly. Now, these guys are very easy and very unique to deal with. All right? They're pretty straightforward. All that you need to do is put them down on some dirt or grass or whatever it may be. Do we have more sheep? I just see a horse. I think just a horse still. All right. Now, that is going to get us into a position so that we can at least start some of the stuff. So let's go grab some smooth stone and some oak logs. These guys are just any log for that matter. So let's find some smooth stone here. Oh, you know what? I completely forgot. I haven't done the redstone seeds yet, have I, guys? Maybe we'll get into that next time. I just kind of got caught up in this. So we'll grab some oak wood and some stone. Very good stuff. It's going to basically get transformed here in but a minute. And for those of you that are familiar with Botania, I understand it may be a little repetitive and all that kind of stuff. But basically what you do is you place these all around the pure daisies. Just like so. Let's just do that. That should handle us. And then same thing with the stone. You can just place these all the way around the daisies. You can do 8 at a time per daisy. So because we have 4 of them, that's 32 blocks at a time. Now each one's going to take about a minute, give or take, and it's going to change. You can see the particle effects already manipulating those blocks and getting a change going. So that is working great. From there, we need to make some day blooms. Day blooms are basically a passive generating flower, but they will dry out into a dead bush after but a few days in Minecraft. So these are definitely an early solution and not really to be used later on. All right. Good. There we go. All right. So we have this. We're good to go. Oh, really? Oh, really? Gotta be kidding me, oak slabs. All right. We can fix that. We'll go like this. That should be fine. Yeah. So the oak, we have here living wood. Living wood is one of the materials that we need from Botania. And the other one here is living rock. These 2 materials are going to be used a lot and in a lot of the different crafting recipes. Why am I missing a living wood? There it is. Okay. Should have had 16 of each. Simple math, right? Okay, so let's see. One of the first things that we can do is we can make ourselves a mana pool. Pretty straightforward. Just some living rock. Away you go. The other thing that we can do, and it's with the living wood, we can take our blue petal here, and we can make something called a mana spreader. Very nice stuff. Very good stuff, and basically this is a piece of gold with some living wood. Now, the other one that we need to make is in the basics, and it's the Wand of the Forest. So that's a little bit of living wood twigs with a few other petals. And these guys are just some living wood. So let's do those first. We need 3 of those. Done. And let's get... we'll stick with the blue. We got some extra blue, so we might as well use it. Okay. So those are like so and like so. And this will give us the Wand of the Forest. Now this has 2 modes. It has function mode and bind mode. You get to it by shift right clicking. So usually I leave it in function mode for the most part, but binding mode is very, very useful. Now, before we get too carried away, we do need a piece of gold. So let's run all the way over to the smeltery here. It's actually, my base is actually quite large. So there's a lot of ground to be traveled here. But I guess it's worth it in the long run because we have a very beautiful base, I think. Alright, so then we can make that mana spreader as well. Now, these are basically what you need to get going with Botania. Okay. In here, we have pure Certus Quartz seeds. And we have pure Certus Quartz crystals now. Yes. Alright. These take a good number of hours. I believe some say it's like 16 or so hours, real time, to grow. So you're probably going to want to start these off pretty much as soon as you get enough Certus to make an entire stack. And these guys are basically taking a Certus Quartz seed and putting it in water for a very, very long time. But we got it. We have it. It's done. So we don't have to do it again for quite some time, if ever again. Alright, good. Got dark over here. Holy cow. Okay, so Botania we are pretty much set up for. I need to get some of the day blooms ready to go. So let's get some of that, and we'll be back. Of course, we need daytime as well. Okay, so it should be daytime pretty soon here. Let's get this guy crafting. So 1, 2, 1, and 1. We can drop in the seed, and there we go. We have our first day bloom. Very nice. And then all we need to do is the same thing. You can right-click on the recipe, drop in the seed. Very straightforward. Boom. Drop in the seed, get another one. And I think I have enough for one more, so let's do that. Boom and boom. Now, I got a few extra seeds, and we'll just store those in here and call that a quick day. Alright, so we have day blooms. We have a mana pool. That's what these are going to generate. And we have a mana spreader to push the mana into the pool. Alright, we have the basics that we need to start our Botania setup. Now, like I said, it's almost daytime. I'm going to wait for the sun to rise, but in the meantime, we can get a little bit prepared. So let's, first of all, we're kind of lacking room at the moment, but let's place our mana pool down. This guy is basically like a chest for mana, or a tank for mana, and it's very, very useful and very helpful. The next thing that we can do is we can place down our mana spreader. Now, if you do have the Wand of the Forest active, you can see the little mana beams. The other thing that you can do is if you switch it to bind mode and you shift right click and shift right click on, say, the mana pool, that will bind it to that mana pool. You can see that right there. It is bound to that mana pool, so all of the mana that this thing gets is going to go towards the mana pool. Alright, now, last but not least, is we need to place down the day blooms. It's starting to become day, so I think this is the perfect timing. So I'm going to slop these down. They're pretty straightforward to use, but you don't want to put them right beside one another, alright? Because, well, they don't like being beside one another. Let's put it that way. So just a nice little spread out setup like this for our day blooms should do the job. And you can see that they're gaining mana and putting it in the mana spreader over here. That is the main thing that we need. Outside of this, these will become dried bushes at some point in time. So we are going to have to upgrade our mana production quite soon. The next one that's usually recommended is the Endoflame. It basically takes coal or charcoal or any kind of burnable material, wood, etc., and makes it into mana. Alright, now this does require a mana powder. Now, mana powder, if I'm not mistaken, right here, it's basically any dust. Sugar, you can use floral dyes, which is something that's actually really cheap if you want to go that route. But you will use up some of your mystical flowers. And for this, might not be worth it. But redstone, glowstone, and I think, does gunpowder work? Gunpowder works as well. So, gunpowder should be pretty easy for you to get overall. And there you go. We're getting a bit of mana. Awesome. Okay. Good stuff. So, like I said, we've kind of started and gotten the basics of Botania down. We've gotten some passive mobs. We've got a new Coven Witch. Can't remember the name, but we do have a new Coven Witch. What is your name again? Dora. Dora Drake. We got another horse. Don't really need another horse. 2 horses is more than enough. Let's jump in here. Give me all those. Thanks. Couple eggs. Love it. Alright. So, I think that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you all so much for being here. Really do appreciate it. And make sure you leave a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. So much still to do. So much fun. And I'll see you next episode where we'll work on those redstone seeds. As well as maybe we can start working on that jetpack. Jetpack hype. Bye-bye for now. See ya.